Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and chief executive officers. My name is Alicia Salcido, and I'm here to propose the task force for the County of Riverside Department of Public Social Services Fraud Early Detection Unit. The Fraud Early Detection Unit, which is also known as FRED, will be established for the County of Riverside, DPSS. DPSS will take over this task force as they will have their own DPSS investigator technicians. The technicians' main job and purpose of the unit is to reduce and prevent the amount of fraud within the different welfare programs. The investigators will review applications, conduct any home visits if needed, or they will educate current beneficiaries who are on the different welfare programs about fraud, just to minimize and try to prevent as much fraud as possible. For the task force, the organization structure and design would consist of a Max Weber's ideology of bureaucratic. This process and organization structure is more preferred, especially being within DPSS. We need a very structured organization based on rules and regulations. That's one of the key aspects, especially since a lot of our policy does come from the state and federal government. We have to ensure that we're still obeying by those rules and regulations, since we are serving customers and we are public servants. Another one is the authority of hierarchy. We have to go through a chain of commands in order for it to be a very organized structure. That's just how DPSS is run. In comparison to like FAO and Taylor, those other type of structures wouldn't be sufficient for DPSS because they're primarily focusing on scientific management. So they're trying to be very efficient, which is an important aspect, but they're being efficient by maximizing the productivity, which that could actually lack within DPSS, because maybe we will work too quick, we're just trying to get things done, and that's not what we're just trying to do. We're here as public servants to serve our community, especially people who are in need, and in order for us to do a very thorough job, we need to have a very structured organization to accomplish that. We have to go by rules and regulation. We need to take time in order for these investigator technicians to do their job appropriately. For the task force, the organization leadership and culture would be primarily focused on the combination of William G. Uchi and Mary Parker Follett's human relationship theory. These two theorists have a very impact on the type of communication and culture of work environment that should be established. These two methods are preferred, or in combination are preferred, just because with Mary Parker Follett, she has an ideology of having an open line of communication, which is very important, because if managers and employees have that open dialogue, that's able to prevent any conflict, bring up any awareness that's going on within the work environment. And not only is that type of communication is then transferred over to the customers and applicants who are actually dealing with investigation technicians, So we want to have that open communications with our customers as well. But in order for that to happen, that's first going to start with the managers distributing that type of communication with their employees. And then for William G. Uchi, his ideology of having high morale within the work environment and stable work employment, that's very beneficial for the County of Riverside, because the county is investing resources and money into the training for the investigation technician to properly do their job, especially because they are dealing with the public. So we want to make sure that we're not violating any civil rights or anything like that for the customer. We want to make sure that the employees are doing the best that they can, just to ensure that there is no fraud or the prevention of that fraud. And with these combinations, it allows the county to successfully do their job and yet provide a high morale and job satisfaction within DPSS. In comparison to the other theories, for example, like McGregor, where they have the theory X and theory Y, we don't want our managers to have an idea of what kind of employees they are. We want all managers and all employees to have some type of open communication to ensure that this process is continuing to our customers. For the task force, the importance of a system theory is very beneficial for DPSS because we want to see on a holistic view how is the task force functioning, especially with all the external factors. An example of this would be if an investigation technician had to do a home visit. Um, what are the external factors? What is the environmental factors that are within that leading to that output? So maybe if there was a car accident that delayed the time for the investigation technician, that's a consideration. So, the technician's not just going to go return back to the office. They're still going to wait for that time and still do their home visit. Especially for the CATS and CON model, this is one of the preferred models just because it's an open system. They're trying to get all the all the external factors into consideration, especially because that's how we're going to be getting our output to view how the task force is functioning in a whole. And thank you guys very much for taking the time to listen to me about the proposal. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to email me, and I do look forward to speaking to you guys very soon. I hope you guys have a nice day.